Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. I hope all is well wherever you are in the world. It's a wonderful day here in Michigan, warming up a little bit, and it's a good Tuesday to have our session for Tuesdays with Tabitha. So I'd like to welcome you to my live stream show. This is a weekly live stream show helping you to have the courageous conversations that you need to have to resolve conflict in the workplace. And today we are going to continue talking about resilience. Our topic today is resilience, one of the most important human skills that you need to successfully navigate the changes that are going to be coming in the post-pandemic workplace. Now, I wanted to say hi and to introduce you. If you are new to me, my name is Tabitha Liburd, and I am an attorney and an HR management strategist. And I help professional women of faith who are overwhelmed by workplace conflict lead thriving teams with confidence. I help you to use all 5 of the conflict styles so that you can succeed in the boardroom, in the conference room, in the classroom, and any other rooms that you might be in. We're talking today about resilience and how the resilience is going to help you to successfully work through the changes that are coming to our workplace environments as we move out of the pandemic. Now, resilience is in itself one of the most important human skills that we need to have to work through conflict and to work in the environments that we serve. Now, I was reading an article recently by Arianna Huffington. It was published on the 3rd of April. And the article is a new hybrid work model will require hybrid skills. And that caught my attention. And I thought, what skills is she talking about? And when I read through the article, I found one of the most impactful quotes I've heard recently. And I'll share that quote with you. Arianna Huffington said, to successfully navigate the new hybrid world defined by changing routines and continuing uncertainty, we will need human skills. And then she went on to name those human skills: empathy, resilience, collaboration, team building, and creativity. And when I saw that, immediately I said, oh my goodness, this in itself is what conflict management and conflict resolution is. These are the skills that we need to help us as effective leaders successfully manage conflict. Now, she is saying that these skills are going to allow us to adapt to the new environments that form themselves as we are coming out of the pandemic, the constant changes that we are going to have to navigate. These human skills, empathy, resilience, collaboration, team building, and creativity are going to help us to exist in a sustainable way so that we avoid burning out. And this quote resonated with me because over the past 2 weeks, I have been consistently talking about resilience because I understand that as leaders and impactful leaders, a lot changed for us last year. And in many ways, we are still navigating, with the help of the Lord, all the ways that life has changed for us. And in doing that, we're also moving toward new life changes, some that we know about, some we don't yet understand. But as we find new ways of working, I am quite sure that it's going to be a hybrid of the old ways. We are still not physically close together, even though some of us have begun getting COVID vaccines. We are still existing in a way that we want to prevent community spread, to keep ourselves safe, to keep our teammates safe, and in that way, keep the world safe. And so because of the pandemic, There has been a lot of uncertainty and a lot of fear. And what happens when uncertainty meets fear like this? We get stuck. That is the result that this uncertainty and fear creates. We get stuck in old behaviors, and we get stuck even as we are trying to move towards new behaviors. We're not quite sure what to do. And sometimes we end up treading water and looking around to see if someone is going to save us. And I want to invite you today to join me and save yourself. Because as we move into what everyone is calling the hybrid way of working, which is the way we worked before 2020 and the way that we are now going to work after the pandemic goes away, we have to find new ways of doing business. You as leaders are not going to be effective in your workplaces. You're not going to be effective and agile leaders if you don't start thinking from now proactively about how you find new ways of doing the same work that you've done before. You've probably noticed changes already in your workplace since the pandemic or coming out of the pandemic. COVID taught us a lot of things. It taught us that we could actually work from home and get a lot of the things done, if not all the things done that we did before, with increased creativity. And while we're adjusting to the way we work, we are also adjusting to questions about vaccines. Is it good for us? Do you want to have it? Do you want your families to have it? Do you think it's a good idea? How do you take yourself into work if you're vaccinated? If you're not vaccinated, how do you ensure your own safety and the safety of your loved ones? You might be wondering if workplaces can require people to take the vaccines. You might be doing training seminars on it if you're in HR or management or leadership, and you might be trying to figure out how you can effectively lead through this and as we move back out to work. You might be asking yourself how you reconfigure the same workspaces so that we're not close enough to cause community spread or to inadvertently cause harm in others. And you might be looking at hybrid workplaces. All of these are things that we are adjusting to. And at every point in time when we do Tuesdays with Tabitha, I always like to remind you that when you are thinking about the adjustments that need to be made, you're thinking about several ecosystems. You're thinking about your own. You, your family, the people who depend on you. You're thinking about and affected by the ecosystem of the people you are leading. So your team, each team member has a same ecosystem as yours, a replica of yours, themselves, their loved ones, their family, and their dependents. You're thinking about yours, you're thinking about the people you lead, and you're also thinking about the people you report to. They have these concerns. They have their own ecosystem that they are considering how they can do right by them and keep everyone safe during this pandemic. And so in all of this, and in the new way of working, the hybrid way of working, the socially or safe distant way of working, we have lost a lot of human moments. Not being physically together in social contract with each other, making eye contact, reading facial expressions, seeing the smile in the eyes through what we're saying. It's not been the same on Zoom. It's not been the same behind the masks or speaking through the masks. And in effect, there has been so much loss. In addition to the loss of human connection, there's been a loss of income, loss of property, and loss of lives. Many of us have lost loved ones and have friends who have lost loved ones. And all of this can result in changes to the way you work, changes to the way you show up, where you're going to need that resilience to help build you. Now, the kind of trauma that you faced can affect you and the workplace in showing up as a lack of creativity. You may find that you have struggles determining how best to do your work, when to do your work, how to attain what you want. And that struggle of creativity can leave you stuck with mental blocks where you have to actively find ways to manage the way you work through this pandemic. Another effect is negative thinking and being depressed and mental wellness issues, because once it begins, it tends to escalate. And if negative thinking escalates, sometimes it even becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, where because you think you can't succeed or you think you can't do something, you actually don't do it or don't achieve it. And so, friends, these are ways that we want to learn about the effects of what can happen throughout this pandemic and the effect of the pandemic on each and every one of us as we try to make ourselves, make our lives better and make our ways out of it. So what is it going to look like if we overcome the uncertainty, if we overcome the fear, and if we become unstuck as we raise our potential for resilience higher? If you can identify why you're stuck, you can develop the kind of resilience that's needed to move through the obstacles, move past them, and write your own success story. And I'm going to give you 3 ways today that we can do that. The first tip is to take responsibility to keep your creativity going. Do that by taking time out, drawing pictures if you need to, creating a vision board if you need to, of what you hope to achieve. I did that at the beginning of January with a group of sisterpreneur friends, and I have found that as I make that vision board and I look at it and I pray over it, things have been coming exactly as I have asked for by actually writing the vision down and placing it on the vision board. So try that. Make a storyboard of your plan of action. Design a way or journal a way towards the pathway that you want for yourself to help you build resilience and get unstuck. Another way of helping to build your resilience is to make a list of examples from your own life when you have faced some of the obstacles that you are facing now before. So go through in your memory, in your quiet times, in your journal, the times that you have been struck by trauma, by mishaps, by unfortunate circumstances. And don't do this in a way to revisit them and rehash them and put yourself back in those circumstances emotionally, but in a healthy way, looking at the way you overcome them and the way you are able to move past them. And when you do that, write them down and remind yourself of how very, very good you are at this. Remind yourself of how well you did it and encourage yourself that you can do it again. And the third way that I invite you to help build your resistance is to ask for help. It's okay to ask for help, friends. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. Many times we get really, really caught up in the optics of what we're doing. And as leaders, we often feel that if we ask for help, it portrays weakness. But asking for help is a healthy way of interacting with your fellow teammates in your trusted circle, of interacting with the people you report with. So reach out and ask for help. And if you think that you don't have anyone who you can ask for help, you can ask help here. Just send me a DM or send me an email, reach out to me and ask for help. I can help you and I will help you. Just reach out. If you want more ways to talk about resilience, if you want to sit in a community where we actually go through how to build our resilience to overcome conflict, I want to invite you to join my private Facebook community, Your Resolution Room. We have a community of resolvers who are rising above fear, raising the way that we are resilient and working through conflict while we use conflict resolution tools. So hop on over to Your Resolution Room, answer a few questions, and join. We'll be waiting there to cheer you on, and you'll be just in time for our private event that is coming up shortly. So thank you for spending today with us on Tuesdays with Tabitha. I'll see you here again next week. Same time, same place. Tuesday at 6 p.m. for another edition of Tuesdays with Tabitha. Have a wonderful rest of the evening and take care. Bye now.